Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Cronkite Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. Say every night, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, 7 o'clock p.m. You know who to tell them who on. I am the 5-star general. There's a level of disrespect from black politicians to the African American community like I've never seen in my life. Tonight we're going to talk about it. And if I step on your toes, the hell with you and your toes. Let's get to it. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in to your favorite African American conservative. And in case you don't know what that means Republican. So if you have a problem with me being a black Republican, then you might need to find you somebody else to watch, because I'm not finna switch the game up now another time. You know how we say in the hood, now another time am I gonna switch the game up. So I want to start off by saying that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have officially separated from my man Antonio Brown. But I told y'all I wasn't gonna drag him. Now, a lot of people want to act like, oh, that didn't happen. Oh, yeah, that happens. But why didn't he just take another week off? That's not how that works in the NFL. If he was hurt, that's not how that works. These selfish coaches don't understand the difference between being hurt and being injured. When you're injured, you could probably go. Terrell Owens showed you that in the Super Bowl when he basically played on a torn ACL. But he felt he could go. So he was injured. Antonio Brown felt that he was hurt and he couldn't go. So he gave it everything he had, and it is what it is. But when you clearly understand how the NFL operates, when you see some of these former players saying that it's like a plantation, some days it is. The coaches winning is more important than somebody's health. And I just hope the brother just do what he continue to do, however he decides to do it, and walk that line and make it happen. Today is the 1-year anniversary of the insurrection, or whatever they want to call it, on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. I believe, and I've always said, if you believe in something and you're going to stand up for it, then you do what you got to do. On that day, you had tons of people show up, and they stood up for democracy, is what they said. They stood up for their constitutional rights. And I don't think anybody has a right to be upset about them standing up for what they believe in, if that's what they chose to do, and that's what they did. So I'm not here to bash people about that. You do what you got to do. That's how I feel. I walk the line every day, and I do what I got to do. I'm running a couple of minutes late tonight because I had to go and make a appearance at the school board meeting, the agenda review. Now, everybody will think, well, that's next week. The school board meeting. No, they've divided it up into 2 consecutive Thursdays. The first Thursday of the month is agenda review, where they go over the agenda items, and you can only speak to the agenda items. And then next week you have the full-blown school board meeting, where you can then again speak to agenda items, but as well as hearing of citizens. I call it the Monroe Rules. They've switched this thing up on us so many times, and they did it to try to silence me as well as other parents and advocates that were critical of our school board and our school system. You had a lot of people that were waiting to come in on Zoom. They offered it, but for some strange reason, the people couldn't get in. I know they couldn't get in because one of them called me after I finished and was saying they had been in the meeting room for over an hour waiting to speak, and nobody let them into the meeting. And we really have to get some things straight as far as, and I'm going to tell y'all this, if I don't recommend you doing Zooms if that school board meeting room is open. I believe that you should get off your behind and you should show up. These are your children. And I want you to understand that I show up all the time, and I don't have a child in the system anymore. So if I can get off my ass and show up and fight for your kids in that boardroom, you need to get off your ass and show up and fight for your own kids too. That's how I feel about it. But I went in tonight to speak, and I'm gonna just show you rather than tell you, and then you tell me how did it go down. All right, let's share the screen and let's get to it. Let's make sure we got it where we need it, and there we go. Student safety. I got 9 women that sit on the board. I've never been to your agenda review. I never had the reason to come. But I'm looking at this thing and I'm seeing where your personnel should call CPS. A month and a half ago at Madison High School, a bunch of girls were approached by male teachers. Which one of you 9 sitting up there had a problem with it? Which one of you African Americans had a problem with it? District 9, I need you to look at me. Do you care more about your sorrow than you do about your children? Because this ain't finna keep going on. Let me tell you why they're gonna keep going on. I like sending company. You like my federal company? I'm gonna send you some more. Stop writing stuff on paper and not protecting these children. Black kids, Latino kids, LGBTQ kids were bothered at that school. And not one of you 9 women opened your mouth. You're not women. You're machines. Because a real woman would get in front of a podium and denounce it. I got a problem with it, bro. Y'all want me to be quiet? Then step out of your comfort zones. You telling me a grown man would bother female students and not one female board member would open their mouth, not one female conservator would open her mouth because you are emboldened to your bootleg, sorors, and frat brothers. It's a superhero coming to the school district, and he'll be here next week. As I was speaking, I noticed that Santos, Danny Hernandez. Hold on a second, y'all. I noticed Santos, Elizabeth Santos, Danny Hernandez, Judith Cruz were paying attention, as well as Sue Dygard. None of these people are African Americans. The African American board members, on the other hand, which we know it was predominantly African American female students that were bothered at Madison High School under the direction of, at the time, the principal, Carlotta Outlet Brown. I couldn't tell if Kathy Buford Daniels was paying attention. Patricia Allen definitely was. The superintendent definitely was. But the lady that represents District 9, Myrna Guidry, who is friends and sorors with the principal at the time, Carlotta Outlet Brown, had her head down on purpose. Let me tell you something, Boris Miles, Sheila Jackson Lee, all of you Negroes out there that pick these people to sit in these seats. We ain't taking the disrespect no more. Yeah, I'm calling y'all out. Every day I'm getting bolder and bolder. You sit up there, ma'am, like you are above us. You sit up there like we are beneath you. And you don't have a problem calling out Gary Monroe. You don't have a problem calling out anything that pertains to nothing. But you have a problem saying anything that's in regards to protecting our girls. And when I say our girls, I'm including every race of female students at James Madison High School. This is a school that's in your district. And you sit up there like we are not shit. I'll tell you what I do. Think I'll wake you up at 3 a.m. I think you'll pay attention to me then. But guess what? Don't dial 911, because I'll make sure that the department that handles community engagement is aware from the Houston Police Department that I will be in front of your house at 3 o'clock in the morning. You will not ignore me, nor will you ignore our children. You are our representative, not by choice, but by cheat. Listen to what I said. You are our representative, not by choice, but by cheat. And because you sit in that seat, if we are uncomfortable, you will be uncomfortable every single chance that I get. And that means if I have to grab that bullhorn and be in front of your house at 3 in the morning, I will be there. That means if I have to be in front of your job, Texas Southern University, and where you're an adjunct professor, while you're in class, I will be there. That means when you are worshiping God, I will be in front of your church, but you will not ignore us in District 9. It will not happen. And see, she's the type of Negro that I keep warning y'all about. She's the type of Negro that Malcolm warned us about. You know, the professional Negro who thinks she's better than us. She looks like us, she dressed like us, but she is not of us. So, ma'am, prepare to be uncomfortable. This is my thing to y'all. We can no longer allow politicians to disrespect us in any manner. I don't give a damn who you are. If my tax money is paying your stinking ass a salary, you will not ignore me. I'm letting you know this now. You will not ignore me. So get on the phone and call Troy Finner. I don't give a damn what police you call. What you gonna tell him? Monroe crazy? He already know it. He chief police. He already know it. Let me tell you how I met Finner, man. This is how I met Troy Finner, your police chief. At the time, he was an executive chief with the Houston Police Department. And I didn't know him. And I went to a city council meeting. And I walked into the meeting my very first time going. I knew my city council member was Dwight Boykins. And of course, I do council member Mike Kubash and Mike Knox. But I went there with a group of people who were protesting the fact that an African-American older gentleman who was walking down the middle of the street on Cullen Boulevard one night was murdered by the police. They actually started shooting Groucho before he could even get out, before they could even get out of their car. They were shooting before they could even realistically stop the police car. So Troy was standing right next to me. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. And Turner was on a rant with the activists that were in the building. They were going off. And if you disrupt this meeting one more time, then I'm going to throw you out of here. And you know what I told him? This is what I told him. And I didn't know who he was at the time. This is what I told him. And if you do, then your laws won't be able to come into our neighborhood tonight. Because you control the streets in the daytime and I control the streets at night. This is what I told your mayor. And he's thrown several people out of city hall and city council. But he's never thrown me out. And you want to know why? Because I command and demand respect. He's not going to do it to me. And he's never disrespected me. You feel what I'm saying? He's never disrespected me. And I show him the utmost disrespect in a politeful manner. You've never heard me call him Mayor Turner. I call him Turner. Because he's the most corrupt politician I've ever laid eyes on in my life. I need y'all to understand that there's some justice that needs to come down on this dude. You know, Ray Nagin was the mayor of New Orleans, Louisiana, when Katrina happened. And there were a lot of things that happened with, federal money And Mr. Nagin got caught up in that, and he ended up getting a federal prison sentence. Since then, he's gone to jail and he's gotten out. And I think from what I understand, he lives in North Texas. Turner is the next Ray Nagin. Aubrey Taylor put out something today. If y'all are not subscribing to Aubrey Taylor's blog, you need to. He put out something today, that messed up housing deal that he say he knew nothing about. Come to find out, the mayor did know about it. That was his friend. He knew about it the whole time. But see, the disrespect that we incur as a people by these African-American politicians, it needs to stop like yesterday. I'm not respecting you guys, you women. You know why? Because you don't respect us. Didn't I tell y'all a couple of days ago about Sheila Jackson Lee wanting and steadily calling HCC board members because she wants to appoint her friend? They passed something yesterday in city council. Some old bullshit they passed to stop, just to deal with crime. Say, man, y'all not dealing with no crime. What y'all doing is running pet programs. You feel me? Y'all are running pet programs to make money for you and your friends. You're not trying to address crime, and that's disrespectful in itself. You're not trying to address crime, and all of y'all that voted for it, you're not trying to address crime. You got the Marines, you don't want them, and we ain't gonna beg you. But I'd be damned if we do the work for free. It ain't gonna happen. I'm sorry, it ain't gonna happen. If you think you can send one of your monkeys this way with the sob story and all that, and thinking that somebody's gonna bow down to them, it's not going to happen. Stop allowing these people to disrespect us as a community. Now, I say that to say this, that I told you that's what she was doing. Now, tomorrow, HCC outgoing board member Reagan Flowers is having a press conference because she wants people to think that the north side of Houston will be underserved if they wait to have a special election. Reagan, sit down somewhere. No, you know what it is, baby. Sheila has her pick of who she wants to sit in the seat. And you doing her dirty work for her. See, this is what they do to us, is they want us to believe everything they say. Everything they say. So who is this person that you want to sit in the seat? I had a discussion today with a prominent member of Northeast Houston. And they like, man, I call you because you gonna know. Yeah, I know. I know what they're doing. I just talked about this. And it's crazy because I talked about it and didn't know Reagan was going to call that press conference. And it is. You see what I'm saying? Sheila Jackson Lee does not work for the African-American community. Reagan Flowers doing her dirty work does not work for the African-American community. Reagan, if you love the African-American community so much, why don't you live in the house where your office is that you use for voting purposes? Right there in Alabama, around the corner from the CUNY home, you don't live in our community. So you're disrespectful. You're very disrespectful. And we have to start pulling the pants down on these people and telling the truth about them. Reagan Flowers shouldn't even be running in our district. She doesn't live in our community. The thing is I could overlook a lot of stuff if they were actually doing something for the communities. But these people are doing nothing for the community at all. Nothing. This is why your schools are failing. This is why the crime rate is through the roof. This is why seniors are being taxed through the roof. This is why we have so much poverty, because the people that are supposed to be advocating for us are actually off doing nothing but attending fancy functions, eating fly food and all that stuff they do. And it is what it is. You people are disrespectful. Catherine Garcia Flowers was a lady I met a few years ago, and I actually helped her with a campaign. She didn't win, but today she did an op-ed on Aubrey Taylor's blog. And that op-ed is how she's been blackballed because she would not fall in line and literally kiss the ring. I know this to be a true statement from her op-ed because I stopped by and I had a conversation with her. And that kiss the ring thing, they told me one time I had to kiss the ring, and I told them to kiss my ass. I'm not dealing with them people. Who are y'all to think that we got to bow down to you? Me? Come on, man. I'm Gary W. Monroe. OG. Third ward till I die. You think I'm going to kiss your ass, Sheila Jackson Lee, Boris Miles, Rodney Ellis, any of y'all? You think I'm going to kiss your ass? Hell no. I'm not. Not going to happen. So black people, let's have a serious conversation tonight. Let's have a conversation about these poverty pimps. Your favorite black politician. They need you to stay poor. Because if you stay poor and you stay struggling and you always need help, then they can get the government to keep sending down money. Now, when the money come down, we don't see it. How many of y'all applied for rental assistance and didn't get it? Well, who the hell are they giving it to? Who the hell are they giving it to? You ain't giving it to us. You ain't giving it to us. So that, to me, is disrespectful. Let me tell you the other game they play. Y'all run around here getting Christmas presents. The politicians ain't getting they don't buy no Christmas present. They don't buy them bikes. They don't buy them school supplies. They go find good people like my friend Kathy Tatum. They find out where she's giving away all this stuff at. They show up and try to lock themselves in like they did it. When in all actuality, they didn't do anything. That's disrespectful. You're deceiving the community. I need you to have a serious talk with your grandmothers and grandfathers, the older people in your family. They pimping the hell out of them. So when I see like the Facebook things where the kids be sitting down talking to the parents and then ask, telling people, tell the truth, you used to be a prostitute. Well, guess what? You seniors are being prostituted by the likes of disrespectful black politicians. You're being prostituted by the likes of disrespectful black pastors. Now, you're going to have some of these people, as I say this, they're going to be very, very upset. Oh, they're going to be mad. Well, why would you be mad if I wasn't talking to you? You're mad because I'm exposing you. Yeah. I mean, if you said something and it didn't pertain to me, why should I care? He ain't talking to me. But you get upset because you're being exposed for who you truly are. And that's what it boils down to. Kenitra Walker say they use our struggle as their stepping stones. Exactly. They don't really want you to get job training, because if they did, they'd have viable training facilities available for you to go in and learn how to fill out applications, learn how to navigate computers if you're not familiar with it. They don't want you to get that. They don't want you to start your own thriving Black-owned business. So that's why they keep feeding you and stringing you along and giving you all this stuff for free. Just like y'all were getting tax credits and didn't realize they're going to take that from you at income tax time. So the money actually wasn't free. You got to pay it all back. But see, we got to stop looking for free. And we got to start making our own way. That's what we got to do. We got to stop looking for free and start making our own way. Now, they don't want me to have this discussion because they got to keep you poor. They got to keep you begging. And as long as you continue to do that, they got you right where they want you. So I'm sitting in there tonight, man. I'm talking, and I see this woman, Myrna Guidry, trustee for District 9. Let's make sure, like I said in the beginning, Elizabeth Santos, Sue Dygard, Judith Cruz, Danny Hernandez are paying total attention to me. The superintendent is paying total attention to me. The Black ones act like we don't exist. They act like we do not exist. But for each one of y'all that ignore me, get on the phone and call Daddy Boris. Get on the phone and call Mama Sheila. Get on the phone and call them. And tell them Monroe say he come and protest in front of my house. Ain't a damn thing they can do about it. I live in the United States of America, and I can protest 24 hours a day if I choose to. And there's nothing that you can do about it. But we have to stop allowing those people that sit on that school board, and I'm using that for an example, to disrespect us in that manner. Tonight you had some good, two women came up with some flowers. I saw them in the hallway, what they doing. And they wanted to give that to Ann's son because this technically is Ann's last meeting. And the lady went up there and she said some nice things about Ann. She started crying and she gave Ann those flowers because of the work that she did in their community and felt like she gave them a voice. You know what we do when the Black ones lose their seat and they got to come up out of there? The hell with them. We glad they gone. Because you ain't did nothing for us. And every time you look up, in the last 10 years, trustees have been caught up in corruption, busted for taking money, and they ain't been no other color but Black. No other color but Black. But we're supposed to bow down and kiss your behind. You kiss where the sun don't shine on Mr. Monroe. And trust me, I got enough back there to block the moonlight. Kiss where the sun don't shine. Black people, it's time for us to stop kissing their behinds and go up in them voting booths and take care of these clowns. No more disrespect should be incurred from these politicians. No more at all. That's the way I feel about it, and that's the way it is. 9 women sitting on the school board, and not one of them has said anything about our girls being bothered on a school campus. 9 of them. So I'm going to say this tonight, as I said last night. If that's the way you feel about our kids, the hell with yours. I mean that. I mean that with everything in my fiber. Because if our kids are not important to you, then your children are not important to us. And we hate to be like that with kids, but these are the people that represent us. And this is what we're putting up with. You have a mayor that's corrupt as all outdoors. And people have the audacity to go on pages. Thank you for the job that you're doing, Mayor Turner. But you've been drinking? You've been smoking and drinking, huh? Because Sylvester Turner is a clown. He act like he had the COVID in December, and then on Christmas Day, you in the kitchen cooking biscuits with your daughter. Live on Facebook. But you had the COVID. No, you were scared, and you didn't want to be around them Negroes with that stuff being as hot as it was behind Rhonda Skilling-Jones. And then the next day, for being county judge, KP George gets the same symptoms. So now he had to isolate himself. If y'all can't stand the heat, get out the kitchen, bro. Get out the kitchen, man. And that's the way I feel about it. You see what I'm saying? Y'all are a joke. And the more that we sit here and we deal with this foolishness, the worse it's going to be. So, I think that we should all wake up and clearly understand one thing. There is no Martin Luther Kings anymore. There are no John Lewises anymore. There is no Medgar Evers or Malcolm X's. What we have is some self-serving garbage politicians that happen to be the same color that we are. And they could care less about us as people, constituents, and voters. I'm not protesting at no kid school, Aaron. I take it to their house. I take it to their house. Everybody has their way of doing whatever they choose to do. And me, I like making folks uncomfortable. See, because when we are parents and we're disrespected, we are uncomfortable in our houses. I want them to be uncomfortable in their homes. You don't get to boo-boo on us and think that you get to go home and it's all peaches and cream. No, not at all. Not going to happen. Just not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. You see what I'm saying? I don't believe that's the way that it should go down. I don't believe that's the way that it should go down. And for those that may think something else, then it is what it is. I want y'all to take the time out to say hello to my new campaign manager, Sierra Evans. We going big or we going home? Man, I done hired me a whole firm, man. IDK Communications LLC. And whoever on that Democratic side, you better go big or go home. Because we got to get you disrespectful politicians up out of office. And that's part of what I plan on doing, is getting some of y'all up out of the building by any means necessary. So I'm not in the business of being liked. I'm not in the business of kissing the ring, as they say in the black community, because you ain't did nothing for me to kiss your ring. It ain't gonna happen. Gary Monroe just don't do that. You feel me? I just don't do it. I know I'm winding down, got a few more days before I jump on that plane. And I don't catch feelings, I catch flights. And I got to go into Savannah, Georgia, and then drive over to Hinesville, Georgia, because I'm finna empower some parents. For y'all that's here that don't want to listen to me, cool. I can go to other cities and other states and I can go help other people. But I'm going to go to Hinesville, Georgia, and give them the game. And y'all that's in Hinesville, Georgia, you politicians out there, man, line it up, homie. You ain't built to deal with me. You ain't built to deal with the fact I'm finna dig off in your business. So whatever that issue is in Hinesville, Georgia, we may want to fix that problem, because if we don't, gonna be a whole bunch of people going to jail in Georgia. I'm telling y'all, that's what it's gonna be. Gonna be a whole bunch of people going to jail in Hinesville, Georgia, because I know one thing: that money ain't right. And why is it that every time we get a position of power and it deals with dealing with money, why we can leave them people money alone? Why we always got to be the one to steal the money and get caught? Now, everybody's stealing. Let's get this straight. Everybody's stealing. Republicans stealing, Democrats stealing, everybody doing it. But we the only ones that seem to get caught stealing. I don't want a politician representing me that is involved in those types of activities. We need somebody of high standards. We need somebody with some ethics, with some character. You know, my father used to tell me, say, man, your reputation will be judged but one day, but your character will be judged for a lifetime. And we have politicians of low character. Now, I want to address this because you keep putting this up, so I want to address this. Let's get this straight. Dorian Scott says, reparations and revelations now and fight, happy chemistry, first civilization. I don't know what all that means, but since you want to keep putting up reparations, you're going to die waiting on it. Dude, do you clearly understand that there are some black politicians that would have to vote on reparations that don't want you to have it? At this moment, the House and the Senate is controlled by the Democratic Party. Reparations, right? Would be pretty easy to do. But see, Pelosi's not going to allow the Democrats to be exposed for not wanting you to have it. And if they even brought it, why they can't just bring it to the floor? They can do that. They got the votes to do that. It would expose African-American Democratic politicians that don't want you to have it. So if you're waiting on reparations, you're going to die waiting on it. So in the meantime, why don't you take some of these Republican values that I got and start you a thriving black-owned business? Won't you do that? Reparations is good. I mean, it would be great if we could get it. But I'm not going to wait on it. I'm not going to stop what I do on a daily. I'm not going to let my life be controlled by the fact that I need to get some money that I'm entitled to that they ain't going to never give me. If they gave you reparations, then the Democrats would be basically over. Because if you got reparations, you wouldn't give a damn who was in office. If you got reparations, you're no longer poor. They can't pander to you the way that he does. So are we going to wait on it? Or are we going to start living and start thriving right now? I'm not waiting on that. If you want to drop 2-3 million a year in my account, man, handle your business. But I'm not finna wait on it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. So in the meantime, I've developed and created me something that's thriving. If you put a bowl of food in front of a hungry dog, but yet you put a chain around his neck, you lock him up to where the bowl is here, but his mouth is here. He can't get to it. He can't get. That's what the Democrats are doing to you guys by even pandering and playing with reparations. Is it true that the Republicans stopped us from getting more stimulus money? Or realistically, was it the Democrats? Do you want me to answer that? You got the max $1,500. That ain't what the Republicans proposed from the gate. They proposed 10,000 a person. Who killed it? So for those that clearly want to say the reason we can't give reparations is because of the Republicans, that is a lie, and you know it. Your people have the ability to bring it to the floor right now, and they won't even bring it. Because if you get it, they don't need you anymore. But the same people who won't even have the conversation with you about reparations wanted to give illegal immigrants $50,000 apiece. Black people, your votes are going to be replaced. This is why they don't protect the borders. People think they just letting them over here. No, it's a reason why. Because they're replacing votes that they know they're going to lose. And this is why they want to fight to get this John Lewis Act passed, Voters' Rights Act passed, so that they give all these illegal immigrants the right to vote. Black people, I don't care what position you think that you're in financially. If that happens, you're going to wake up one morning and be exactly what they think that you are. The N-word. You're going to be that. So I'm letting you know. Stop waiting on reparations. Get busy building your company, building your legacy. Get busy creating generational wealth for you to send down to your children when you leave this place. You need to leave them homes. You need to leave them cars. You need to leave them land. You need to leave your children money. Stop leaving them debt. But as long as you continue to fall for what these people are putting out there, and as long as you continue to allow these people to disrespect us, that's all you're going to get. You really think that the house Negro ate a better meal than the field Negro? No. They ate the pork bellies just like us in the fields would eat. And y'all that think y'all are better than us, Myrna Guidry, District 9 School Board Representative, you're no better than us. And that's all it boils down to. So no, I'm not waiting on reparations. I don't even like having the conversation. I'm not finna get my hopes up on something that ain't gonna never happen. Because when you give us reparations and you give us financial freedom, we've just left the plantation. And once we escape the plantation from being broke, we'll never come back. We will never come back. I think that today God has truly blessed my campaign. Sierra Evans is heaven sent. IDK Communications is heaven sent. We're going to go big or we're going to go home. We're going to go big or we're going to go home. See, I'm going to tell you something. The R and the D does not define me. I know who I am. I know where I come from. I know where I'm going. And we're going to have to start supporting people who are just like me. And I don't care anymore. If any one of you politicians got a problem with anything I'm saying, line it up. Come see your boy. Because you don't scare me at all. And you know, my favorite Panther of all was Fred Hampton. because it took 123 bullets to take him down. You're going to need 124 for me. I promise you that. You're going to need 124 for me. So next Thursday is a school board meeting at HISD, starts at 5. Make sure that if you want to speak, then you sign up that Wednesday by 12 noon. If you wait to sign up, you won't be able to speak. I'm going to speak as much as I need to. And I'm going to fight you demons with everything in my power. Because our people don't deserve the mistreatment and the disrespect that you folk have given us. We don't deserve it. But yet I tell you something. If you want to continue to sit there and let it happen, then you do deserve it. You do deserve it. Wake up, people. It's time. And remember what Fred said. Fred Hampton, the revolution shall not be televised. It's a reason why I'm the best in the business. Every night, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. The great one shows up and he laces you to the game. And you know who I am. I'm the 5-star general. HISD, there's a superhero coming to town next week. And he coming to save the teachers. And he coming to save the kids. And anybody that get in his way will be collateral damage. I recommend you call Amazon and get you some kryptonite. But that ain't gonna work either. Until tomorrow, I'll holler at you.